So you're thinking about moving to Tucson, Arizona. Well, in this video, we're going to take you to Tombstone, Arizona. There's a lot of history in that old western town. We're going to go check it all out right now. So Tombstone is about an hour and a half away from Tucson, Arizona. It is a great little place to check out. There's so much history there. You've got Wyatt Earp and Doc Holliday. You have these old western towns, and these are the real buildings. There's wood sidewalks. There's still dirt streets. There's some of the original buildings there. It's just a really fun place. They have all sorts of things to do there. They have little restaurants. You can go there. It probably takes a good half a day to go through it, but it's a great place to go and have lunch and check out. You can take company. You can take your kids or just take your spouse. It's a fun day trip, and we're going to go check it all out right now. So I'm going to tell you all about Tombstone, Arizona today. It's a very historic place. Deep in the southeastern corner of Arizona is a district place known as the home of the Wild West silver boom, whiskey-fueled gunfights, and the most famous saloons. The epic Southwest landmark known as the town too tough to die is Tombstone. Silver prospector Ed Schiffelin set out from Camp Huachuca, an army post in southeastern Arizona, heading for the Dragoon Mountains. The soldiers warned him he'd find nothing there but his own tombstone. When Schiffelin struck silver, he named the mine Tombstone. Word spread quickly of the silver strike, and it wasn't long before the town grew quickly and was situated near the mines. In 1879, the town was named Tombstone. The town grew to nearly 15,000 people in the mid-1880s. It was home to nearly 100 saloons, a multitude of restaurants and eateries, a huge red light district, a newspaper, there were churches and schools, and the original Arizona Community Swimming Pool, which is still being used today. The town also had a few theaters, including the most famous and prominent one named the Birdcage. This was more than just a theater. It was also a gambling hall, a saloon, as well as a brothel. It was open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. It opened on Christmas Day, 1881, and it closed in 1889. Known to be one of the wickedest and wildest night spots, it is said to have 140 alleged bullet holes in the ceilings and the walls that can still be seen there today. In the early 1880s, water began leaking into the silver mines. Although work was able to continue for a time, the silver ore deposits were flooded by 1882. Despite the flooding of the mines, the mining company and the residents of Tombstone weren't ready to give up. Cornish engines were brought in to pump out the water of the mines and to make it workable again. And by 1884, there was 576,000 gallons of water being pumped out of there every single day. This continued until the pumping plant burnt down in 1886. The damage was irreparable, and the declining cost of silver meant that the mining never reached its heyday levels ever again. In March of 1881, a stagecoach left Tombstone with silver bullion worth $26,000. Now in today's cost, that would be nearly $700,000. It never made it to its destination. 3 cowboys attacked the coach en route. On October 26, 1881, 4 men in long black coats strode purposefully down the dusty Fremont Street. Around the corner behind the lot at the OK Corral waited 6 cowboys. In a fateful 30-second gun battle, nearly 30 shots were fired at close range. The gun battle between the Earps, led by Marshal Virgil Earp and his brothers Wyatt and Morgan, and their friend Doc Holliday, and the Clinton-McClure gang, left Billy Clinton and the McClure brothers dead, and Virgil, Morgan, and Doc were wounded. A couple of months after the gunfight at the OK Corral, Virgil Earp was attacked on the streets of Tombstone. He survived, but he was brutally injured. Then, a few months later, Morgan Earp was shot and killed while playing pool. Then, to make things even worse, the Cowboys attacked the Earps while they were taking back Morgan's body to California by train. Blinded by rage and seeking vengeance, Wyatt Earp and his posse embarked on a month-long campaign to hunt down the men responsible for these attacks. The Earp Vendetta Ride. By the time they were satisfied, 4 men, all cowboys, lay dead. A few years later, in 1887, Doc Holliday died at 36 years old of tuberculosis, and Wyatt Earp moved to California. He died at 80 years old. There were 2 large fires that went down in the city of Tombstone. The first was on June 22, 1881, which reportedly began when a whiskey barrel was ignited by a cigar. The fire destroyed more than 60 downtown businesses, and the town was able to rebuild and grow. However, on May 26, 1882, another great fire started in the restroom of the Tivoli Saloon, and the damages from that were estimated to be 2 times greater than the first fire. Boot Hill is a graveyard. It was also a huge part of Tombstone. Stories say that Boot Hill received its name from the fact that the individuals there had died unexpectedly and violently and were buried with their boots intact, including victims from the shootout between the Cowboys and the Earps on Fremont Street near the OK Corral. After the silver mines closed, Tombstone almost became a ghost town, but it was saved by serving as the county seat of Cochise County. The town, now under the watchful eye of Tombstone Restoration Commission, has meticulously preserved its historic district. Tombstone continues to be a high draw for tourism to this day. The gunfight at the OK Corral is often reenacted by actors, and portions of the Old West town have been rebuilt as tourist attractions. In 2005, CNN reported that Tombstone receives around 450,000 tourists a year. So there you have it, a bunch of information on Tombstone, Arizona. It's a fun historic town. It's a great place to check out, go have lunch, just learn a little bit about Arizona and Arizona's history. And it's all real. There's no cost to get in. You can park there. Lunch, you can eat it. There's several different restaurants there in the little town, and you can pick wherever you want to eat, whatever. It's just a fun place to go and see some of Arizona's history. And like I said, you can drive there and back in one day and spend, 3 or 4 hours just walking around, shopping, checking it out, and having a little lunch. I watched the shootout show. That was really good. It was a good time. And there's all sorts of history posted up everywhere for you to read about. So you'll want to check that out. So here we are, we're in Tombstone. This is where they had their heyday in the 1880s. It was a silver mining town. There was also lots of bars, saloons. It was growing into a huge town with all of the silver mining that they had here. And then there was the famous shootout of Tombstone with Wyatt Earp and Doc Holliday. We're gonna check out some of that as well. But just a really cool little old-fashioned town. Okay, so here we are at the Boot Hill Graveyard, and this is where a lot of people in Tombstone, they were buried with their boots on. That's why they named it that. We are in Tombstone. Behind me is Wyatt Earp's Oriental Saloon, which was a big saloon and theater he owned. It became a very reputable place while he owned it, and we're going to go inside and take a look. Two different fires here. One was in 1881 and a second one in 1882. That 1882 one nearly wiped Tombstone off the map. They didn't have enough water to put out the fire, and it took out over 100 different businesses, so that it really shrank the town. And after that, it almost became a ghost town, but it survived. It's historic now. They've got a lot of these stores are open, businesses are open. It's a really fun place to come. So behind me, you can see the bird cage there. That's one of the only unrestored buildings. It's all original inside. It was a bar, a brothel, and a theater. They had the original cage dancers. The women would hang from the ceiling in cages and dance there. So that's kind of how it got that name, the bird cage. But it's a really neat place and see just all the original stuff in there. So we're going to check out today the OK Corral, and that's where Doc Holliday, Wyatt Earp had the shootout with the Cowboys down there. We're going to show you exactly where that was, and we're going to watch a little bit of the Tombstone reenactment of that gunfight. We're gonna walk on down here and catch a gun show.
Here for your tens! Not good. Oh, that's not what I want! You got it all out? Billy, you heard what they said. They called it horse thieves.
And now, Fred, all right? Look, I am just a little bit drunk. The boys, well, yeah, they're a lot of bit drunk. You put your gun away, okay? I'm gonna give you mine, all right?
Okay, behind me here is the Crystal Palace. This is where Wyatt Earp's brother, Virgil Earp, he's the older brother, he got ambushed there at the Crystal Palace. We're gonna go inside, take a look around in there, maybe grab some lunch. Watching this video about Tombstone, Arizona. This one was a fun one to make, and just to check out different parts of Arizona in general and learn a little bit of history. It was a good time. Let me know in the comments what you think about Tombstone, if you would go there, if you came out here, if you've ever been there before. I'm curious about that too. So again, thanks for watching. If you're thinking about moving to Tucson, whether it's in 3 days or 3 months, give us a call, shoot us a text, or send us an email. We'll be happy to help you out. Until next time, I hope to see you around town. Bye-bye.